I can't even believe that I've been nominated. It doesn't feel like me. I feel like it's my cousin called Amy, you know, with the same name or something. So it's a funny thing. It's a very funny thing.
Very witty person, very warm person, a people person.
You know, I feel wicked. I'm proud of myself.
Young, energetic, full of life, having so much fun.
Amy Winehouse was a unique figure. At once relatable and distant. With a talent as fierce as her insecurities were consuming, she navigated the world with a complex blend of wit and sadness, sensitivity and brashness, humour and turmoil.
I didn't even have time to get drunk. I've only been about 15
She had her vices, cigarettes, alcohol, hard drugs and catastrophic relationships. She became a fixture in the tabloids as much as the charts because of them.
The photographers are there for every episode in the Winehouse soap opera.
It is said that the British press were relentless in their pursuit of seeing Amy go downwards. Nothing was really sacred.
And as a dad, I'll ask you another question. What would be your biggest fear?
Well, my biggest fear is that she would die.
But beyond the headlines, Amy's soulful music managed to transcend time, speaking to both the past, present, and future in a way only she could. Before the Beehive and her fatal dance with international celebrity, Amy would be born in London and grew up in the Southgate area. Her mother, Janice, was a pharmacist, while her father, Mitch, was a taxi driver and window panel installer. They were close-knit and perfectly ordinary. She was particularly fond of Cynthia, her father's mother. Cynthia was a formidable and glamorous matriarch. She had been a singer, dating jazz saxophonist Ronnie Scott. Cynthia, along with Amy's parents, would influence her love of jazz music. Mitch was a big Frank Sinatra fan and would sing his songs to Amy throughout her childhood.
To kiss you, but I would not dare. I'm so afraid that you may vanish in the air. So darling, if our romance should break up, I hope I never wake up. If you are but a dream.
She's been described as a loud child, mischievous, outspoken, and funny. When she was 9, Amy's parents separated. She moved schools several times, attending Susie Earnshaw Theatre School, Mount School, Mill Hill and the Brit School.
She was so talented in many ways that people do not realise. The fact that she was just so multi-talented. She's just my baby.
Amy ultimately dropped out at age 16 and became an entertainment journalist. Amy's passion, however, was always for music. She had been playing and writing her own music since she was 14, and alongside her job would sing with a group called the Bolsha Band. She enjoyed singing covers of her favourite artists: Minnie Riperton, Sarah Vaughan, Frank Sinatra, and Dinah Washington. Throughout the rest of her teenage years, she developed a love for hip-hop, specifically the girl group Salt and Pepper. This genre would become a key influence in her future sound. Amy's best friend, soul singer Tyler James, sent her demo tape to an A&R person. She was soon signed to Simon Fuller's management company before eventually signing with Island Records. After signing with Island Records in 2002, Amy made Camden her home. Drawn to its rich history, steeped in music and hedonism. Camden's legacy in music dates back decades, from its roots in punk rock to its pivotal role in the Britpop explosion of the 1990s. In the 2000s, it became synonymous with the burgeoning indie scene, hosting rising stars like the Libertines and Razorlight. For Amy, the early 2000s were a happy time. She was part of a vibrant social scene, partying and drinking with friends, and bar hopping around Camden.
She's a very witty person, very warm person, a people person, very approachable, and just liked hanging out. And I live in Camden Town, and I'd see her often around the streets before I started working with her, and she just liked to be mixing with people.
I remember first meeting Amy when we first did our auditions for our band, and that was in 2003. It's when I first met Dale and Nathan as well. And I remember meeting her outside the studio, and there was this little girl there, and we were like, "You're Amy?" It's like, just didn't necessarily put a voice to her. And then we got in the studio and started playing with her, and this voice came out, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was one of the most amazing things I'd ever heard.
With Island Records, Amy would release her debut album, Frank. It was a cohesive and strong project, exploring genres of neo-soul, jazz and hip-hop. It contained lyrical musings on failed relationships with a unique wit.
Frank was her first album. It was a much more easygoing album. It was about her feelings at the time when she was a young girl. She was with a guy who she worked with, who should have been stronger than she was. You should be stronger than me. You know, and there was some great songs on that album.
When you walk in the bar and you're dressed like a star, rocking your F-me pumps, and the man notice you with your Gucci back crew, can't tell who he's looking to, 'cause you all look the same, everyone knows your name, and that's your whole claim to fame.
The album weaved Amy's childhood influences throughout.
You know, all the people I'm getting compared to are people that I've always listened to. Not really Billie Holiday, but still to be put in the same sentence as her is a massive thing, you know. It's just a big compliment, really, because he's a great female artist.
Amy had a wide, she loved so much music. You know, she listened to Frank Sinatra, to Mos Def, and so that just, and obviously Lauryn Hill, and so that just came out. And when you got great artists like that, and you're inspired by that, you then inspire others by what you kind of listen to. So I think just Amy having such a range of knowledge on so much music made her the musician she was. And she played and wrote her own songs and produced it. Didn't just, you know, she wrote her own songs, not like other artists, so, which is special, yeah.
Frank was critically lauded and won Amy the prestigious Ivor Novello Prize for the leading single, Stronger Than Me.
This is me, innit? Right here. Wow. I don't believe this.
Thank you, Salam. There's no picture of him, but Salam is the most inspirational producer I've ever worked with. And he has that unique skill of not just having the most appropriate beat, but also drawing the artistry out. And I guess that's the story of this song. And I want to thank EMI Music Publishing. I want to thank EMI Music Publishing and all the Nicks, and obviously Island Records, and Salam again, and Bruce Purse, who played the trumpet on the track. Thank you.
In the Frank era, Amy exuded a youthful exuberance, her smile radiant and her cheeks full.
Lovely. Thank you. Right to me, right to me. Amy, so good kiss, man.
Amy, just
Giddy on the novel excitement of interviews and press duties.
Come on, darling, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I feel wicked, you know, I feel wicked. I'm proud of myself, really proud of myself.
You were quite calm when you came in, all a bit blasé.
Yeah, but, you know, no, I never think I'm going to get any of this shit, but, you know, wow, Bobby Womack gave me the shit himself. I can't believe it.
You seem genuinely surprised, are you?
Yeah, I'm like, no, you know, I ain't got no words, man. I don't know.
I first met Amy at the Brit Awards. I was wearing a dress with lots of tassels on. She came running up to me and said, mate, love the dress, love the dress. You could see that she was visibly thinking, I'm at the Brits, this is amazing, as we all were. Young, energetic, full of life, having so much fun.
It's kind of news, yeah, it's conveyor belt.
Have I met you before?
Yeah, I think we were at the, where were we, Brit nominations or somewhere like that. Got for nice Elvis Hawaiian looks, very cute. So friendship, do you need to be further back? Fine. You could stay. Can we just get you slightly further back? That's really nice. Just looks nicer. Cool. So have you just been performing?
Yeah.
What's it like?
I haven't ate. I've probably missed the dinner now. So I'm not hungry. It was really good now. It's really good. Kind of wicked, you know. It's like it's an industry crowd.
Kind of strikes me that you can see.
But I think if you do enough things like me and like Ty, you realise that it's less about the crowd and more about what's going on with your band and yourself, because there are a lot of dry audiences around, but it's cool. It's cool. You just enjoy yourself and no one cares. You know what I mean?
And what about the other bands? I mean, you kind of eye each other up, looking at each other funnily. I mean, what's it like?
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's nice to be here because, you know, it's not like a pop thing. It's not like who's the poppiest this year. Here's Amy Winehouse, has his busted. You know, it's not like that. It's not like that.
I don't know a pop band out there right now that if they're not
cool. People here are musicians. You know what I mean? I'm not saying busted up musicians.
So with us,
they are musicians.
The music has to do with the kind of old
people here are musicians. It's cool. It's a like-minded thing, you know. As a musician, you don't turn up and think, this is mine. Mine. You turn up and you think, I hope my song goes okay, and you know, you shit yourself, you know. And I'm not alone in that. There's so many wicked, sorry, babe. There's so many wicked bands here, and I'm just lucky to be here with all them bands. You know what I mean? Zooton, Ty's band.
She was nominated for the Mercury Prize and at the Brit Awards for Female Solo Artist and Urban Act.
Well, it would be nice. I mean, you know, it would be so... I can't even believe that I've been nominated. It doesn't feel like me. I feel like it's my cousin called Amy, you know, with the same name or something. So it's a funny thing. It's a very funny thing.
I think one of the things that always set her apart was how honest she was with her lyrics. And when you sort of couple that with one of the most amazing voices you'll ever hear, you know, that turns into something really special. And that's the sort of thing that lasts a very, very, very long time. You know, and it's one of the reasons why I think a lot of people would think of her as a voice of a generation, because there's not many people that could do that, you know, and she really did it.
Now, you have had quite a year, haven't you? 2003 has been pretty good for you, hasn't it? Tell us about the highlights of 2003.
I would say meeting Roy Ayers. That was pretty big. And meeting Roy Ayers again, that was quite a big thing. I guess getting the album done was a big thing, you know, getting it finished and being able to hold it in my hands and say, this is my own album, you know, that was pretty much one of the biggest highlights.
Even though Frank was a successful debut album, Amy felt that she wasn't allowed a large impact on the album's direction. She would also express dissatisfaction at the marketing. The album peaked at number 13 on the UK album chart and wasn't released in the US until 2007.
Amy's debut album, Frank, was astonishing. You listened to it and you thought, hold on, it really hit you between the eyes, hold on, this voice is astonishing. Amy wasn't happy with it, and that would really go on to flavour the rest of her career. She was a perfectionist, and she didn't think her record company had done her justice. Everyone else thinks it was wonderful.
After the success of Frank, Amy would continue partying in Camden. She was known in particular to frequent the Hawley Arms. In 2005, she would meet Blake Fielder Civil, a production assistant, at a pub. Their relationship quickly blossomed over shared drinks, pool games, and control of the jukebox. By the end of that summer, they were inseparable, with Amy even tattooing Blake's name on her chest. However, their intense romance took a toll when Blake ended things abruptly after 6 months, reigniting a flame with his ex-girlfriend. Amy spiraled into heavy drinking to cope with the heartbreak. Her all-consuming relationship and subsequent breakup with Blake furnished the material for her magnum opus, Back to Black. The album was co-produced by Mark Ronson.
Darkest Beast introduced Amy to Mark Ronson, who was a very up-and-coming producer, music producer. People were talking about him. He had his own radio station on East Village Radio in New York. He started playing some demos of Amy's, and there was a real buzz about it. People liked it. He really liked Amy. The moment they met, he thought, here's a girl who's not going to take any nonsense. She knows what she wants. And he loved her, he said, because when she didn't think he was being great, when his results weren't fantastic, she told him. And it worked for them. That honesty brought them together and created absolute dynamite.
They are really refreshing to read about because they're so honest and they just sort of say what's on their mind in an era where it seems like everything that like a Shakira says probably gets filtered through 7 PR people. Like there's something about something that just says, no, this is rubbish, or I don't like her, or whatever.
He polished her songs for Back to Black, perfected them, and even the harshest critics have said they drew on so many influences while still being completely original.
The album was deeply steeped in the influences of 1960s girl groups like the Ronettes, infusing contemporary lyrics with a nostalgic sound.
I think artists that we tend to talk about a lot often have a quality of being rooted in tradition and the past, but also suggesting the future at the same time. So she's kind of inspired by hip-hop and current music, but at the same time jazz and older forms of music at the same time. So that was very compelling musically.
This retro aesthetic extended beyond the sound as Amy's appearance underwent a striking evolution. She embraced a distinctive style, characterized by a towering beehive hairstyle and bold graphic eyeliner.
She's like
a vintage pin-up girl with a modern twist. I mean, even when she was great for buying dresses from young designers, always giving other people a chance. Even if she bought a dress on the high street, she adjusted it, she made little alterations to make it her own. And then, of course, with that beehive hairstyle, it became so iconic. She's a legend in the fashion world as well as in the music world as well.
Amy Winehouse, she had like a, first the voice, herself, how she was, how honest and authentic she was, and also her look. I love the look. It was like a neo-retro 50s, 80s look, truly great and very inspiring. It was a kind of dark hair Brigitte Bardot, you know, but in a way, you know, like also sexy and short. No, it's a mix about fashion and inspiration. It's herself, you know. But the real ones that create fashion are the ones that themselves, they do their own thing.
Much like her music, Amy's look was an amalgamation of diverse influences, blending elements from different eras and genres to create something wholly unique and instantly recognizable. During Amy's struggle with alcoholism after her breakup with Blake, her management urged her to seek help, recognizing the urgency. However, her father disagreed with the idea. This conflict inspired the song Rehab.
They tried to make me go to rehab. I said no, no, no. Yes, I've been black, but when I come back, no, no, no. I ain't got the time, and if my daddy thinks I'm fine, they try to make me go to rehab. I won't go, go, go.
This pivotal track not only marked a turning point in her career, but also served as a transition from her earlier jazz-oriented style to a more mainstream sound.
I think as a recording artist, she was so good. She'd go in and she'd just do 1 or 2 takes, and when you do stuff with that ability, then there's so much freshness, and that freshness lasts. Plus, she had a wonderful spirit which touches so many people.
I wrote Rehab in about 20 minutes, and it was just I wrote it about something that had happened to me. It wrote itself. It's just a novelty song in it, but it's true. It's something that happened to me, and I guess it pretty much wrote itself.
Similar to her debut album, Frank, Back to Black delved into the unravelling of a relationship, showcasing Amy's signature blend of bold vulnerability and sardonic wit.
Meet you downstairs in the bar and her. Your rolled up sleeves in your skull t-shirt. You say, what did you do with him today? And sniff me out like I was Tanqueray. 'Cause you're my fellow.
Every song was autobiographical. Every song was dragged out from inside her and wrenched out. Someone said it was like she was giving birth to a song. And the album Back to Black took a lot out of her.
She was also just able to perfectly connect with her vulnerability in a way that not very many artists can do. It was very, very rich, authentic. When you really channel into that, there's nowhere to really go after that. You have to continually take from that source. It's very difficult to get that back, you know, every single time. So you find yourself looking for ways to get that same feeling back. It's like a drug.
I mean, the album is obviously one of the greatest albums that's ever been written, clearly. You know, but it's very difficult for me to listen to it because every song is like she's pulling her, you know, she's cutting her arm off, she's pulling her heart out. You know, and it's very, very, very difficult for me to listen to. Back to Black, of course, is more about later times and difficult times for her.
While in the midst of recording Back to Black, Amy faced yet another loss as her beloved grandmother Cynthia passed away in 2006. Stricken with grief, Amy found a way to honor her grandmother's memory by getting a tattoo dedicated to her soon after her passing. The success of the album cannot be understated, and Amy was skyrocketed to international stardom. It presented her with a new intense fame that perhaps she wasn't prepared for. With her newfound success came an increased magnified scrutiny on her life. After the release of Back to Black, Amy and Blake would reignite their relationship, eloping privately in Miami in 2007.
She loved him. She loved the way he looked. She loved the hats he wore. She thought that he was the male version of her. She thought he was perfection.
Blake had been using drugs, and soon after their reunion, he introduced Amy to heroin and crack cocaine.
Is your honeymoon?
Yeah, every day's a honeymoon. Hey, listen, I married the best man in the world. Every day's a honeymoon.
Well, he hasn't done too badly himself.
It would be the beginning of Amy's spiral out of control.
The photographers are there for every episode in the Winehouse soap opera.
Their individual self-destructive tendencies fueled a joint addiction. It gripped both of them.
She was so into him that there was really no stopping her at all. It was that same sort of force, like she had to be with Blake.
They say the best songs are born of kind of disruptive relationships. Today, a happily married woman, what can we expect from you songwriting-wise?
Happy
songs?
Yeah, happy songs. Care Bears theme tunes.
Amy, your dad said he was sad he didn't walk you down the aisle. You're going to have another do here in England?
I definitely will. Definitely do something proper.
Was he angry with you? Was he okay?
No, he's fine. He's fine. What's he going to do?
In early 2007, Amy would perform Rehab at the Brit Awards and took home the award for British Female Solo Artist. She would also win her second Ivor Novello Award.
Thank you very much. I didn't even have time to get drunk. I've only been about 15 minutes. It means a lot. Thank you very much. I'm very lucky that I got to write the kind of songs that I suppose I wanted to write. And thank you to everyone at Amy Winehouse and
Over the summer of 2007, Amy would perform at the MTV Movie Awards, as well as various festivals, including Glastonbury and Lollapalooza. However, as the year came to a close, the public started to become aware that something wasn't right with Amy. On the opening night in Birmingham of a 17-date tour, Amy was noted to be highly intoxicated, stumbling around on stage. Following a number of similar concerts, Amy announced that she was cancelling all gigs and appearances for the rest of the year, with her label citing severe exhaustion as the reason. The immense pressure of fame only exacerbated Amy's downward spiral. Once known for her bubbly and vibrant personality, Amy now appeared more confused, intoxicated and jaded.
Hi, Amy. Lovely to meet you.
Hi, hello.
Hello. Congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
How important is getting a South Bank award to you?
It's a very prestigious kind of award, right? So it's pretty cool, yeah.
Have you been a fan of the South Bank show for a long time?
No, I'm quite an ignorant person, but I know what it represents. I guess that's what matters. Sorry.
people getting drunk out there? Are they having a good time?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I'm just with my dad tonight. I just brought my dad, so he's having a good time. He doesn't drink.
At the Brit Awards, congratulations on your nominations. Are you...
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Are you looking forward to the actual ceremony?
Yeah, because I get to be my boyfriend because it's Valentine's Day, so it'll be nice.
And are you confident about...
Interviews portrayed her as a completely different person, reflecting the toll that substance abuse had taken on her mental and physical health.
Have come out doing, you know, you defied convention, not just with your sound, but also with your look. Right? How important is image to your career?
I'm not really fussed. I'm very lucky that I got to make the kind of album I wanted to make. That's pretty much it. The rest of it, I'd tell everyone to piss off, so it doesn't really matter, I suppose.
Amy's struggles with substance abuse were further complicated by her ongoing battle with bulimia, a disorder she had grappled with since childhood. Her fragility and unpredictability attracted paparazzi attention, feeding into a cycle of intrusion and exploitation.
Photographers and snappers here say they haven't seen Amy Winehouse in the flesh for 4 days now, but that doesn't matter to them. This is a waiting game, and they are a permanent fixture in the singer's life.
That we're here to offer a service, and that's it really. We can't have any compassion or have any emotional connection to like what's going on and look at her as a normal human being, to be honest with you. It's a subject for me, it's a job.
It is said that the British press were relentless in their pursuit of seeing Amy go downwards. Nothing was really sacred.
The media absolutely played a monumental role in the demise of Amy Winehouse. At the height of her fame, everything she did, every step she took was absolutely scrutinized by the press. She could not go anywhere without a scrum of cameras and photographers going after her. And this is just a normal girl from London being followed around. She wanted to be a singer and a performer. She did not want to be a centerfold of paparazzi fodder. So this was absolutely horrific for her. And she was quite a private person, so this did not bode well for someone that already had tenuous mental health.
Blake was arrested on November 8, 2007, for suspicion of attempting to pervert the course of justice. Blake going to jail pushed Amy deeper into her struggles with substances and her mental health.
She's holding it together despite the arrest of her husband, Blake Civil Fielder, for charges including GBH. Her brother says the public should give her a break.
By 2008, Amy's health issues became public knowledge when she revealed that she had been diagnosed with early-stage emphysema. Her downward spiral was meticulously chronicled by the British tabloid press, known for its cruel and intrusive coverage.
This is going to shock some people, shock some organisations, whether it's the police, a record company, a family, a friends, or whoever, to get her the help that she so clearly needs and clearly deserves to get off these drugs.
So are you saying there were altruistic reasons for publishing this video?
Now, I'm not going to stand here and pretend that we're all social workers at The Sun trying to do our very best for Amy Winehouse. That would be disingenuous of me.
Well, I can't imagine that even the tabloids are willing her not to recover. Of course, there isn't a story there if she does recover. I mean, clearly, there's not much of a story if she gets better. And, you know, I've tried several times to impart some good news to the tabloids. And, you know, sometimes I haven't really been interested. But, you know, clearly the way things are at the moment, Amy's vulnerable. She's a target.
Disturbing photos of Amy and Blake, scratched and bloody after apparent fights, only added to the media frenzy surrounding their tumultuous relationship. In early 2008, a video of Amy appearing to use drugs was leaked to the Sun tabloid. The video resulted in Amy entering rehab, and she was subsequently denied a US work visa to attend the Grammys, where she was nominated for 6 awards. As Amy was the year's top nominee, she managed to get clean and begun to regain her look. In lieu of attending the Grammys in person, Amy hosted a remote live televised celebration in London. She would win 5 out of 6 of her nominations, with Tony Bennett, who was a huge inspiration for Amy, presenting her with Record of the Year for Rehab.
And the Grammy goes to Amy Winehouse.
However, Amy would once again relapse into substance abuse.
As a dad, what would your greatest wish be for Amy's future?
Well, for her to be well, for her to have a loving relationship with whoever she chooses to have that loving relationship with, could be Blake, to carry on her fantastic relationship with the family that we have, and to do whatever it is that makes her happy. You know, she wants to have a family. Maybe that'll be her drug of choice. Family, children. She'd love to have children. But of course, again, not as far as Amy's concerned, but generally, you know, people who are addicted to drugs, it's unwise for people to have children because their children could be born as addicts. She understands all of these things. And all of these things are helping her to begin to make the right choices.
And as a dad, I'll ask you another question. What would be your biggest fear?
Well, my biggest fear is that she would die.
In late 2008, the press documented her erratic behaviour as she was accused of assault and was photographed with cuts on her arms and legs. She would go to court several times for assault allegations.
You know, the guy who she had the altercation with the other day, front page of the Daily Mirror, you know, he would have been paid for that. You know, and people understand. They know how the tabloids work. And, you know, it's not as if they have put a bounty on her head and said, if you get into an altercation with Amy, it could be worth £5,000 or £10,000. But it's kind of an unspoken, implicit agreement between the tabloids and the population. That is, if you can rough up a star, or better still, if you can get thumped by a star, you know, you're on a winner. You're on a winner.
Her personal life became a public joke. Her bulimic appearance and drug addiction seemed to attract ridicule in the media. According to her physician, Amy had stopped using illegal substances in 2008. However, as a replacement, she began to drink more heavily. Amy's personal struggles had now fully eclipsed her musical talent and achievements. In the years following, Amy meandered in and out of the public eye.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, please. You've been to a million of these events before. I understand. We've all been there. But listen, put your hands together. Make some noise for the most inspirational band of all time. The Specials, ladies and gentlemen, The Specials!
Her and Blake would officially divorce in 2009, after many well-publicised fights and arrests. She would spend a lot of time in St. Lucia with friends and family.
The only time she got away was when she went to the Caribbean. She went to St. Lucia to write some new songs. But even there, word filtered back through tourists that she was on her hands and knees every night crawling around because she was so drunk. She was a girl who clearly was tortured, no matter where she was.
She continued to drink excessively and would go in and out of rehabilitation centres. In 2010, Island Records optimistically announced that a new album from Winehouse is on the way.
I'll be working till I drop dead, so, you know, it'll be good. I want to go back in the studio as soon as I can, to be honest. It's quite important to me. Thank you.
In early 2011, Amy was invited by Tony Bennett to record a duet of the song Body and Soul. Amy was shy and scared to work with one of her idols. She showed up to the sessions sober and professional.
Body and soul.
I spend my days in a hunger and wondering why you're wrong. I tell you, I mean it.
In an attempt at a string of comeback performances, Amy was poised to play in Belgrade, Serbia. It had now been 5 years since the release of Back to Black, and the material must have felt stale to Amy. The performance was a disaster. It depicted someone who had completely given up. She doesn't manage to get through a single song and was subsequently booed off stage. It would be the last performance of her life. On the 23rd of July 2011, Amy Winehouse was found dead in her Camden home by her bodyguard, Andrew Morris.
I picked up the phone and Andrew was crying, and he said, you got to come home. I said, is she dead? He said, yeah, Amy's dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. I'd just like to give a short statement about today's events. Police were called by the London Ambulance Service to a house in Camden Square, Northwest 1, shortly before 16:05 hours today. Following reports of a woman found deceased. On arrival, officers found the body of a 27-year-old female who was pronounced dead at the scene. Next of kin have been informed, and I can confirm that the deceased is Amy Winehouse.
The cause of death was due to alcohol poisoning. She was just 27 years old. Her father, Mitch, has said that before her death, Amy was the happiest she had been for years, saying that she had gone 3 weeks alcohol-free. Her friends and family have emphasized that Amy was close to giving up alcohol for good.
It's often alcohol that is the most difficult drug to become abstinent from because it's so socially acceptable. The problem that Amy Winehouse had was that she was dependent on alcohol, and she struggled valiantly and did extremely well to try and sort out her alcohol problems, but sadly, in the long term, she didn't succeed.
Due to years of heavy drinking and drug use, combined with her bulimia, had left her body weaker and less able to bounce back from her binges.
That one night of drinking vodka was enough to kill her because her body just could not take it anymore, especially after the shock of such a large amount of alcohol after not having any for such a longish period of time. So it shocked her body, and that is what eventually made her pass away. And just had that one blip, and that was enough. And it's just so sad. Here's someone that had been fighting this for so long, and she finally is in a position where she's trying to battle back, and it does her in. It's absolutely tragic.
Amy's funeral was on the 26th of July. The ceremony was attended by all of her family, as well as some of her industry friends, such as Mark Ronson and Kelly Osbourne. Since her death, many people have tried to place retroactive blame for a source of Amy's downfall. Some have blamed her parents, believing there was negligence on their part.
Mitch says his words were edited to make him seem irresponsible.
They've just cut it and got me saying Amy didn't need to go to rehab without the next bit. So it kind of gives the impression that she didn't need to go to rehab. The times that I took her into detox and rehab, I lost count.
He thinks the film should have been more balanced.
Is a good way of putting it. For a documentary, it's a great work of fiction.
Others have blamed Blake for introducing her to hard drugs.
You know, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He was responsible for introducing Amy to hard drugs. Everybody knows this. Amy's told me this. The whole world knows it. The only people that think it was the other way round was Blake's parents. Let's be honest about it. We all know what the true situation is. He has promised me that he's going to make that right.
Yes, I think he has to take his portion of blame. He has. I can't say whether or not Amy did drugs prior to meeting Blake. I can't. I think that's something that nobody will ever really know. But yes, in my heart, I think Blake has to take a portion of blame.
But who can we really blame when someone is an addict?
Amy's friends and family have blamed Blake for introducing her to hard drugs. But every addict is introduced by someone. And ultimately, Amy continued to take drugs. She seemed to have a very addictive personality.
It is tempting to remember Amy through the tragedy in her life. Her star now in the mythical cult of the 27 Club. In company of the likes of Kurt Cobain and Janis Joplin. However, after the stories of the drunken brawls, doomed relationships and the heavy drugs, the thing that remains forever is Amy's music. She was an inimitable songwriter with a powerful and raw voice. As time passes, the tabloid photos and scandalous stories are thankfully giving way to a clearer appreciation of her life's work.
I think it's time that we change the conversation around her, and especially around people going through similar struggles, and to kind of come at it with more compassion and to focus on their strengths.
Try to make me go to rehab, I won't go, go, go.
Amy's music gleaned inspiration from figures of the past. Frank Sinatra, Aretha Franklin, Dinah Washington. Yet, what helped her shape the future was her unique blend of both modern and retro stylings. Her unorthodox approach paved the way for countless female artists who followed, including Adele and Lana Del Rey.
Frank's like one of my top 3 albums of all time. That first album inspired me so much, and I think she's phenomenal, and I think she's a phenomena, and I think there will never be another Amy Winehouse.
Despite releasing only 2 studio albums and a relatively short public career, Amy's impact on the music world is profound. In the years following her premature death, her image has settled into a spot reserved for legends. Documentaries, biopics, statues, the foundation set up in her name, and of course her music helped continue her legacy.